Nothing in life is free, but the My Digicel app is. You don't need to be on a data plan to use the app. You can conveniently chat with Ruby or an agent for help. Check your account balance, activate a Prime bundle, or gift it to a friend. Send credit. Check the Georgetown and Burpees Bridge schedules. Activate a roaming plan. Play Shake to Win for cool prizes. So don't worry about a data plan, buddy. Download the My Digicel app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. Digicel, better together.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. The Ministry of Natural Resources on Thursday last issued an invitation for interested consultancy firms to provide their technical and financial proposals by January 20th, 2022 to review the Field Development Plan, or FDP, for ExxonMobil's $9 billion Yellowtail project in the Stabroek Block. The bid documents state that the firms are required to consider Guyana's legislative and contractual framework, international best practices and industry standards, and the specific conditions present in Guyana, then proceed to conduct an in-depth review of the Yellowtail FDP. The government said the review must include all supporting and reference documentation, along with the related environmental social impact assessments submitted by the Stabroek Block licensees. The project documents note that the duration of the assignment is expected to be 50 days, with the possibility of work starting by February 7th, should all go as planned. And moving on, publisher of the Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal, has said that the rushed signing into the law of the new Natural Resources Fund, or NRF Act, is an extremely evil act, and citizens are called upon to rise up against it. He also charged that, contrary to President Ali, the new law, which his administration used its one-seat majority to pass last week, invests more powers in the government through the president and finance minister to manipulate the fund and also appoint government sympathizers to sit on critical committees. Lal, who had called for a protest against last week's passage of the bill, said that the maneuvers by the PPPC government was a well-planned and orchestrated move by the hierarchy of the administration. And moving on, the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, or GMSA, in consideration for the government's high-priority agenda to pass its oil-related legislations, acknowledges that these policies will be subject to emergent revisions and improvements. Voicing its support in a statement for the newly passed laws, GMSA called for continued and more participative consultations with private sector support organizations. As such, it was pointed out that it is expected that recommendations from each industry be fully considered with timely feedback from the government to successfully develop and reinforce regulatory strategies with respect to the Local Content Act and the Natural Resource Fund Act. And now let's tell you, with the easily transmissible Omicron variant suspected to be circulating in Guyana, the last 24-hour period has recorded another 844 new COVID-19 infections. This is according to the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, who iterated that young people account for more than half of these new cases. The minister explained that of the 844 cases detected, 489 are persons between the ages of 25 to 39 years old. In terms of children getting infected, Dr. Anthony shared that between the 15 to 19 age group, there are 26 persons infected over the last 24 hours. 22 children between 10 to 14 years tested positive with COVID-19, while 22 more in the age group 5 to 9 were also found to be infected. According to the health minister, the new cases now take the total active cases in the country to 4,295. In other news, school will resume virtually for students attending the Bishop's High School after a decision was made yesterday to close it owing to numerous cases of COVID-19 infections among the student and staff population. An earlier notice by the school had called for an early closure of operations on Friday, but this was later revised to shut down the school entirely. Public schools across the country on Monday reopened, but this has not gone down well with parents as well as the Guyana Teachers Union. In a statement earlier this week, the union called for the immediate closure of all schools, noting that positive cases have risen exponentially over these last 3 days in Guyana, especially with the reopening of schools for face-to-face engagement. And to wrap things up this morning, let's tell you that a post-mortem examination, which was carried out on Thursday by pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh, gave the cause of death for 13-year-old Rondell Henry as dehydration. This comes weeks after the teen and his family reportedly consumed an unknown locally made substance and shortly after started experiencing complications including diarrhea and vomiting. A few hours after consumption, Henry reportedly became motionless at home and was pronounced dead on arrival at the Mabaruma Regional Hospital. His remaining family members were also rushed to the hospital and have fully recovered. And with that, we've come to the end of this morning's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Dear valued customers, please note that Survival Supermarket Sheriff Street location will be closed for stock taking on January 10th and 11th. Business will resume as per normal on Wednesday the 12th of January. Management regrets any inconvenience caused and customers are advised to use the Vicinjan Road location.